Hello friends, welcome. In this session we will talk about ethical view of Charvaka philosophy, which is a very important part of Indian philosophy. We know that Charvaka are materialist. Their metaphysical theory is all about materialism. According to them, direct perception is the only reliable source of knowledge. We can rationally assert only the reality of perceptible objects. God, soul cannot be believed in because they are all beyond perception. According to them, there is no soul, no God, and matter is the only reality. Material objects are the only objects whose existence can be received and whose reality can be asserted. Though the materialistic ideas are scattered here and there, they may be systematized and conveniently presented under three chief heads, namely epistemology, metaphysics, and ethics. Basically, each school of Indian philosophy is divided into three parts: epistemology, metaphysics, and ethics. If you want to know about Charvak epistemology metaphysics, you can check in description. Links are given there, or you can check our playlist. Ethics is the science of morality. It discusses problems like what is highest goal man can achieve, what should be the end of human conduct, what is the standard of moral judgment. These are the problems of ethics. Now Charvakas discuss these ethical problems in conformity with their metaphysical theories. The Charvakas discuss these ethical problems in materialistic perspective. In ethics, the Charvakas regard physical pleasure is the main aim of life. Eat, drink, and be merry is the motto of our life, according to Charvak. There is no other world, there is no soul after death. The ethics of the Charvak is an extreme individual hedonism, means pleasure of the senses is the only end. According to them, pleasure of the senses is the only end. End means goals. According to them, heaven is a myth and cannot be the goal of life. Some Indian philosophers like Mimamsakas believes that the highest goal of human life is heaven or sorgo, is to achieve heaven or sorgo, which is a state of pure bliss that can be attained hereafter by performing here the Vedic rites. But the Charvaka rejects this view because it is based on the unproved existence of a life after death. Heaven and hell are the inventions of the priest whose professional interest lies in coaxing, threatening, and making people perform in rituals. So, why Charvaka rejects this view? First of all, according to them, there is no soul. They reject the existence of soul, and consciousness is the quality of body only. Secondly, the only reliable or valid source of knowledge is direct perception. So we cannot perceive heaven or sorgo directly, and they refute soul. So after death, there is no life. That's why highest goal of human life cannot be heaven or sorgo. And also we know that they rejects the authority of Ved. Next is liberation as freedom from all pain is an impossible ideal. Liberation as the highest goal of human life. There are four Purushartha: Dharma, Artha, Kam, and Moksha. So, Moksha or liberation is the highest goal of human life, according to other philosophers. Liberation again is conceived as the total destruction of all sufferings. Some think that it can be attained only after death when the soul is free from the body, and the others believe that it can be attained even in this life. But Charvaka deny this both. Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. Charvak deny this both concept. If liberation is freedom of the soul from the bondage to physical existence, it is ridiculous because there is no soul. But if liberation means the attainment of the state free from all pain in this very life, it is also an impossible deal. Existence in this body is bound up with pleasure as well as pain. According to Charvaka, existence in this body is bound up with pleasure as well as pain. We can try to minimize pain and enjoy as much pleasure as we can. Liberation, in the sense of complete cessation of sufferings, can only mean death. So, here liberation means only death. Those who try to attain in life a state free from pleasure and pains by suppressing the natural appetites, thinking that all pleasures arising out of their gratification are mixed with pain. They act like fools. Charvaka says that those people are act like fools. Though pleasure mixed with pain, but pleasure is the only possible good, because here they are using many examples like no wise man would reject the kernel because of its husk, nor give up eating fish because of their bones, nor cease to grow crops because there are animals to destroy them, nor stop cooking his food because beggars must ask for a share. So, if we remember that our existence is confined to the existence of the body and to this life, we must regard the pleasure arising in the body as the only good thing we can obtain. We should not throw away the opportunities of enjoying this life in the futile hope of enjoyment hereafter. Rather a pigeon today than a peacock tomorrow. A sure shell is better than a doubtful golden coin. Therefore, the goal of human life is to attain the maximum amount of pleasure in this life and avoiding pain as far as possible. There is pain because we have body, but we should try to maximize pleasure. You can relate this with utilitarianism. A good life is a life of maximum enjoyment. A good action is one which leads to a balance to pleasure, and a bad action is one which brings about more pain than pleasure. Therefore, this Charvaka ethics may be called hedonism, or the theory that pleasure is the highest goal of life. Their hedonism is corresponding to egoistic hedonism or gross egoistic hedonism. Now let's talk about very important concept, that is Purushartha. Some Indian philosophers mention about four goals or ends of human life which give inspiration to our actions. These goals are called Purusharthas, which means human ends. There are four Purushartha, namely Artha or wealth, Kam or enjoyment, Dharma or virtue, and Moksha or liberation. Of these four, the Charvak rejects the last two, that is Dharma and Moksha. Here, liberation in the sense of destruction of all sufferings can be obtained only by death, and no wise man would willingly work for that end, because no one wants death. Wealth and enjoyment are the only rational ends that a rational man can achieve. But enjoyment is the ultimate end or end in itself, and wealth is not an end in itself. It is good. It is good only as a means to enjoyment. Again, I am repeating this point. Charvaka deny liberation or death as the ultimate goal of human life. They deny liberation as a purushartha. Why they are relating death with liberation? Because they deny the existence of soul and life before death or after death. They deny the existence of life before death or after death, means they deny the existence of soul. And end of life or end of death means end of body, end of sufferings, and that is liberation. So liberation means death. This is the difference between Charvak and others Indian philosophers. According to Charvak, liberation means death. End of body means end of suffering, but it is not the ultimate goal, because no one wants death as a goal of life. We don't want death as a goal of life. All men wants happiness, wants pleasure or enjoyment. No one wants death. So death is not the ultimate goal of human life. So ultimate goal or ultimate end of human life is pleasure or enjoyment or calm. According to Charvak, death is liberation, but they deny liberation or death as the ultimate goal of human life. So what is the ultimate goal of human life? The ultimate goal of human life is pleasure or enjoyment or calm. We already discussed in their theory of epistemology that they deny the authority of scriptures like Vedas. So virtue and vice are distinctions made by scriptures whose authority cannot be rationally accepted. Therefore, neither liberation nor virtue should be our end or goal. So finally, the ethics of Charvak is the only logical outcome of their materialistic metaphysical position. Or you can say the ethics of Charvak is the only logical outcome of his materialistic metaphysics. That's it for this lecture. I hope you like this session. You can comment and share your opinion in our comment section. And for more videos on philosophy, you can subscribe our channel SP Philosophy. We will meet very soon in the next lecture. Happy learning, keep loving philosophy. Thank you.